Rusame reader, Kurosong! And today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by Rainbow Star _772. That's me! Now, on to Chapter 41, Catmint and Daydreams. Russia yawned a little as he woke. He stretched a bit before getting out of bed and grabbing his clothes. He headed to the bathroom and set his clothes on the counter, locked the door, then started to shower. He hummed to himself as he washed his hair. He then cleaned the rest of himself, got out of the shower, and turned it off. He grabbed a towel and dried himself off quickly. He made sure to dry his hair as much as possible, wanting to be able to wear his ushanka today. Once it was done drying off, he hung up the towel to dry. He then grabbed his clothes and started to get dressed. Once he was dressed, he left the bathroom and went back to his room to grab his ushanka. Once he was in his room, he put on his ushanka and then went out to the dining room. He was expecting to be the only one there for a while, but found that he wasn't. His father was also there. "You want to tell me where you were the other night?" His father asked, the question seemingly coming out of nowhere. I had a nightmare about losing America, so I went to his room to remind myself he was still fine. Russia explained, quite confused. "And you weren't in your room this morning because?" "Russia, you gave me a heart attack when I went in to wake you up." His father prodded. "He invited me to stay after I pulse-checked him several times," Russia added, looking away. He didn't feel like mentioning how tightly he was hugging America, and how he refused to let go of him at first. "Okay, just leave a note next time. That was quite the scare," his father said, sending him a nod. With that, he hummed to himself and got his breakfast early. He'd eat alone, then he wanted to look into some stuff in the library. He wanted to see if he could collect some herbs to offer America, see if he could help. He knew he'd have to collect some catmint, also known as catnip, because it was known to be helpful for stomach cramps. As soon as he finished his food, he dealt with the plate and then bolted off to the library. Once he got there, he could hear the crackles of the fire, but also the pitter-patter of rain. Well, he was certainly glad he'd closed his window last night before he went to bed. He grabbed a few books on herbs, read through them quickly, and memorized their general uses and how they looked. He decided to return to his room to put his ushanka away before running out to collect some of the herbs. He ran out into the rain and cringed a little, but continued his little quest. First, he collected the catmint, then found his way to a few other things that grew at the castle, like mint, which was ground up and made into a paste that could be used to soothe aches, or valerian, which was a root used to help reduce anxiety. It had stopped raining by the time he'd collected everything, but he was absolutely drenched. He ignored it and started towards America's office, wanting to give the herbs to him before he went to class. He'd check for a response letter later. He opened the door and found that America, as usual, was already looking at him. He smiled and walked into the room, making his way over to America. "Good morning, Russia," America greeted with a small smile. "Morning, America," Russia said, holding the herbs towards America. I wanted to bring you a few herbs. I wanted to get you a gift, and I wasn't so sure what to get you, so I got you this." "Thank you. Could you tell me what you have?" America asked, seemingly genuinely curious. "I have catmint, mint, valerian, comfrey, and some cloves." Russia found himself excited as he mentioned what he had collected. "Thank you, though I can't accept the catmint. It will make me high for a lack of better term." America admitted sheepishly, rubbing the back of his neck. Russia separated the catmint out and handed the other herbs to America. He now knew what to make his guess. He didn't even have to read the letter from America. But he would. He just would respond to it in person instead of on paper. You can take the catmint over to the healer's office. They'll be able to use it, America informed him happily. He likely didn't want the herbs to be wasted, which he understood. Russia nodded and smiled at America. I will. I'll see you later. See you later, Mons Leo, America said softly, a smile on his face. Russia then took a left, taking the catmint over to the office across the hall, dropping it off and giving a short explanation before running off to his class. He sneezed. He should have changed before he started the class, but it was too late for that now. He was sitting in his seat and waiting for class to start. It was far too late to change. He'd change when he got out of class, before he went to visit America. He sighed and glanced at the clock on the wall. He had about 5 minutes until his class started. He rested his head on the table and started to hum to himself, deciding to hum the same tune he'd heard America humming. It made him feel less bored and less alone while he waited. Eventually, the clock probably struck the proper time because he heard the door open and his teacher come in. He lifted his head and smiled, ready to listen to whatever his teacher had to teach him today, though, admittedly, there were many places he'd rather be, or things he'd rather be doing, than this. But that was neither here nor there. He quickly found that today was a day where he'd be stuck in a boring part of history. He'd already researched the era enough. He'd do fine without the lecture. He supposed maybe zoning out a little to think about America wouldn't hurt too much. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time, and I will see you tomorrow.